Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to this replay in the Lorraine 15551 French Tier 8 SPG, or artillery piece. I'm showing this game for a couple of reasons, mainly because of what happens to one poor unfortunate Tiger driver, but we'll get onto that in a bit. So, we're here on, is it Pearl River? I think it's Pearl River. This was a map that came into the game when the Chinese tanks were introduced. I think it was then taken out of the game for a while because it was deemed to be a little bit broken, and then put back into the game as of patch 9.2, 9.1, something like that, with a bit of a rework. So initially we just drive backwards, and as we're in an SPG, sit down and pre-aim at a likely spot that someone is hopefully going to turn up at. Now, my logic of pre-aiming back here is that people will spot some of the enemy team, and then hopefully I'll be able to get a shot on them where they are, but there's a conga line of guys moving along this road. So instead, I'm just going to take aim at them. IS here. Oh, he started moving. The rest have all faded away into the fog of war. And I have a shot, and alas, it misses. Never mind. As it turned out, my lead on the target was actually pretty good, but the shot fell short. That's artillery for you. Now, I probably should have relocated after I took that shot. Misplay from me, but as it is, I kind of stay where I am. Alas, I don't have shots onto that big conglomeration of tanks there, but I do have shots over here. Tiger, this is a tier 9 game, he's a tier 9 heavily armoured tank destroyer, so I'm definitely going to prioritise him. Aim my shot, and take 549 away from him, and we reposition. You don't necessarily have to reposition far. At the moment, I'm mainly just trying to avoid counter-battery fire from their M40, M43. So again, I'll aim at that Tiger. Now, I don't have a perfect shot here, but I'll aim at the last known position of that Tiger, and I think I'm going to take a blind shot at it and then reposition on the basis that he probably hasn't moved far. Shot goes pretty much where I aimed it, but it looked like he had actually relocated, so fair enough. We move a little bit and see who we can get shots on. There's a King Tiger over there, but we redirect our fire over to this side of the map once more and see if we can get shots on that T-28. No, back again. I really am flicking around an awful lot, which I probably shouldn't do. So, taking an aim at this King Tiger. Tier 8 heavy tank. Fire. And that was the shot that I decided to really include this replay for. 1,320 damage onto a tier 8 heavy tank. I clearly got a penetrating hit with my HE shell. I don't know where that shell landed to penetrate him. I felt a little bit sorry for that Tiger, but you know, not sorry enough to not target him. And that's the reason that people tend to hate artillery. And he is now dead. That's why a lot of people hate artillery. I even apologise to him for its potential to do such a large amount of damage. And this is not even a particularly large caliber gun for an artillery piece. The French don't really have guns that do massive damage, not by artillery standards, but you do have to bear in mind that that amount of damage, you do not do it very often. Most of the time you splash people for much less. So this gun typically does around 400 damage per shot. And when you bear in mind you're dealing with a 30-ish second reload, it means your effective DPM is very low. Now, of course, you've got the bird's eye view, which is nice, but I'm just trying to point out some of the limitations. So there's an 87 around there somewhere. Just waiting for him to pop back up. Come on, little dude, where are you? This isn't going to hurt much. Switch our attention over here. Ooh, Tiger 1. He's a soft, squishy target. Now, his armour is bad enough that I might actually legitimately get a penetrating hit on him. 95 average penetration. He has 100mm of frontal armour, and especially if my shell arcs down into the top of his tank, that could well be an awful lot of damage to him. As it is, I don't get a penetrating hit. It's only 555. But that was 555 against a relatively poorly armoured target. You know, Tiger really doesn't have particularly good armour. And we relocate again. I knock over that tree, which is a bit of a mistake, but never mind. All they've got left is a Super Pershing, their artillery, and the AT-7. I remember the AT-7 being last spotted somewhere over here. So I try and aim a shot in this general vicinity. Super Pershing is spotted. There's the AT-7. Seeing as I'm already aimed over here, I'm going to take a shot at him. There we go. Shell goes nearby, but doesn't actually hit him, only does 66 damage. French artillery guns do not have particularly large splash radius. Splash damage is not their thing. And then we change target to the Super Pershing, on the basis that there's fewer of our team over here, so they could probably do with my assistance a little bit more. That's my logic. And we try and aim in a shot. He's just sat still. There we go, 399. That's more the sort of typical damage roll you tend to get with this gun against most targets. Now the enemy artillery is dead, and I have a clean shot on this guy, so I don't bother relocating. But I don't get the shot on him anyway. And that is the end of the game. Now, I only got second class mastery with that game. I say only, that was still alright. And you'll notice from the score screens that you really don't get rewarded with a lot of experience for playing SPGs. But I did do the most damage of anyone on my team. So that was, you know, not too shabby. And we did really wreck a Tiger Tuesday. Hats off to him, he didn't whinge and moan and complain in chat. So he seemed to take it okay. But there we go. I hope you enjoyed that game, even if it was an artillery replay. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos, and or subscribe to my channel, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.